Disclaimer. This video contains intense and frightening content meant for entertainment purposes. It may include scenes that some viewers may find disturbing or unsettling. We recommend viewer discretion, especially for those sensitive to horror themes or with underlying medical conditions that could be affected by intense content. The events portrayed in this video are entirely fictional, and any resemblance to real-life situations or individuals is coincidental. We do not endorse harmful or illegal activities. By continuing to watch, you acknowledge the content warning and proceed at your own discretion.
Story 1: Echoes of the Past. I am Alex, and I can hardly find the words to convey the terror I experienced at Rivertown High. What seemed like a normal school in the bustling town of Millville held a chilling secret that would haunt me forever. My spine-tingling journey began in the winter of my junior year. Rivertown High had an imposing history, having stood for over a century. It had survived fires, floods, and rumors of strange occurrences. Little did I know that I would become a part of this eerie tale. One icy evening, as I left the library, I heard faint laughter echoing through the empty hallways. I dismissed it as a product of my exhausted mind. Yet, as I made my way to the exit, the laughter followed me, growing louder and more maniacal. Panic set in as I realized I was utterly alone. As I hurried down the dimly lit corridor, my footsteps echoed ominously. The air grew icy, and my breath formed misty clouds. I turned a corner and encountered a shadowy figure in a tattered school uniform. His face, obscured by darkness, seemed to contort into a grotesque grin. I froze in place, my heart pounding as the ghostly figure advanced toward me. It was unmistakably a student, but his attire was from a bygone era, something from the school's early days. "Help me," he whispered, his voice a haunting, ethereal whisper that sent shivers down my spine. Without warning, he vanished, leaving me trembling in the cold, empty hallway. My mind raced, trying to rationalize the encounter, but there was no logical explanation. The days that followed were filled with strange happenings. Classroom doors slammed shut on their own, lockers opened and closed, as if by invisible hands, and eerie laughter echoed through the halls at night. Desperate for answers, I turned to the school's history books and stumbled upon an old newspaper clipping. It detailed the tragic death of a student named Samuel Foster in 1903. Samuel had been the victim of a brutal bullying incident, and his death was ruled a suicide. My research led me to believe that Samuel's spirit still roamed the school, seeking revenge on those responsible for his torment. I couldn't ignore his pleas for help any longer. One fateful night, I decided to confront Samuel's spirit. Armed with a makeshift Ouija board and a candle, I ventured to the school's abandoned basement. It was there that I made contact with the restless spirit. Samuel's presence was palpable. The planchette moved on its own, spelling out messages of anger and anguish. He wanted justice for the torment he endured, and he sought to expose those who had wronged him. As we communicated, I promised to uncover the truth about his death and clear his name. Samuel's ethereal form became more defined, his eyes filled with gratitude. In that moment, I felt a strange bond with the troubled spirit. Over the next few weeks, I delved deep into the school's archives, unearthing forgotten records and interviewing elderly town residents. The pieces of Samuel's tragic story slowly fell into place, and I discovered the names of those responsible for his suffering. With the evidence in hand, I confronted the descendants of Samuel's tormentors. The truth was painful, but it was essential for Samuel's spirit to find peace. As the years passed, the haunting incidents at Rivertown High gradually ceased. Samuel's vengeful spirit had finally found closure, and the school returned to a semblance of normalcy. But for me, the memories of that chilling encounter and the relentless pursuit of justice would forever linger, a reminder that sometimes the past refuses to stay buried, and the restless spirits of the haunted may seek solace through the living.
Story 2: The Cursed Chronicles of Millville Academy. I'm Emily, and the memories of my time at Millville Academy still haunt my nights. What seemed like an ordinary institution of learning held a dark secret. A secret I encountered during my senior year, Millville Academy was nestled on the outskirts of town, its imposing structure a relic from another era. It exuded an aura of gloom that I couldn't quite shake. Rumors circulated about the school's history, but I dismissed them as mere tales spun by overactive imaginations. One frigid evening, with snowflakes falling gently to the ground, I found myself alone in the school's vast library, studying for an upcoming exam. The ancient oak shelves held books that had witnessed generations of students, and the creaking wooden floor added to the eerie ambiance. As I buried my nose in a dusty tome, I heard a soft, mournful melody, like a violin playing a melancholic tune. I glanced around, expecting to see a fellow student, but the library was empty. The music continued, growing louder and more haunting, filling the air with an otherworldly resonance. Unable to ignore it any longer, I followed the music's ghostly trail. It led me down winding corridors, my footsteps echoing in the empty halls. The chill in the air deepened as I ventured further, and I couldn't help but shiver. The music finally guided me to a forgotten room at the school's heart. The door creaked open on its own, revealing a chamber filled with dusty, ancient tomes and a grand piano covered in a white sheet. The music emanated from the piano keys, which moved as if played by invisible hands. A figure stood by the piano, a girl in a tattered dress from a bygone era. Her spectral form was translucent, yet her sorrow-filled eyes held a depth of emotion that sent a shiver down my spine. "Help me," she whispered, her voice trembling with a haunting plea. I couldn't tear my eyes away as the girl played the music of her misery. Her name was Clara, and her tale was one of heartbreak and betrayal. She had been a talented musician in the late 1800s, but her dreams were shattered by a fellow student named Edward, who had stolen her compositions and claimed them as his own. Clara's life ended in tragedy, and her spirit had remained trapped in Millville Academy, seeking justice for the theft of her music and her untimely demise. Over the following weeks, I delved deep into Clara's story, uncovering records and diaries from the school's archives. The evidence was clear. Edward had been a fraud, and he had ruined Clara's life. I made it my mission to expose the truth and provide closure for Clara's tormented soul. The more I unraveled the past, the more the school seemed to respond. Books flew off shelves, ghostly whispers echoed in the hallways, and a chilling presence filled the air. Finally, armed with undeniable evidence, I confronted Edward's descendants and revealed the truth about their ancestors' dark deeds. The weight of guilt and shame hung heavy on their faces as they acknowledged the injustice done to Clara. As the years passed, the haunting incidents at Millville Academy gradually subsided. Clara's spirit had found solace, and the school, once shrouded in mystery, began to heal. But for me, the experience was a haunting reminder that the echoes of the past can manifest in unexpected ways, and sometimes it takes a determined soul to unearth the truth and grant the restless spirits the peace they seek.
Story 3, The Ghostly Secrets of Hollowbrook High. I'm Jake, and I can't erase the memories of my time at Hollowbrook High. What appeared to be an ordinary suburban school held a dark secret that I encountered during my sophomore year. Hollowbrook High was an imposing structure nestled amidst a quiet neighborhood. Its ivy-covered walls and Gothic architecture gave it an eerie charm, but it was the rumors that intrigued me. Whispers of strange occurrences and ghostly sightings were common, but I was a skeptic, dismissing them as mere folklore. One foggy evening, as I stayed late in the school's computer lab, finishing a research project, I noticed an old journal tucked away in the corner of the room. It was dusty and weathered, its pages filled with cryptic symbols and handwritten notes. As I examined it, I felt a sudden chill in the air, and the room seemed to darken. Curiosity piqued, I began translating the journal's contents. It was the diary of a student named Samuel who had attended Hollowbrook High in the 1930s. His entries detailed bizarre events, mentioning whispers in the walls, shadowy figures in the hallways, and a secret society known as the Elders. The more I read, the more I became entangled in Samuel's story. He believed that the Elders held a dark ritual in the school's underground tunnels, where they communed with malevolent spirits. Samuel had been determined to uncover their secrets, but had mysteriously disappeared before he could reveal the truth. As I delved deeper into Samuel's diary, the paranormal activity at Hollowbrook High escalated. Books levitated off shelves, lockers slammed shut with a deafening force, and chilling laughter echoed through the empty corridors. One night, driven by a compelling urge, I decided to investigate the underground tunnels mentioned in Samuel's journal. Armed with a flashlight, I ventured into the dark labyrinth beneath the school. The air grew colder, and a sense of dread weighed heavily on my chest. Deep within the tunnels, I stumbled upon a hidden chamber adorned with arcane symbols and flickering candlelight. The Elders, robed figures with faces obscured, stood in a circle, chanting incantations that sent shivers down my spine. In the center of the circle, a spectral figure materialized, its eyes filled with malevolence. Suddenly, one of the Elders turned toward me, their eyes meeting mine. Panic surged through me as I realized that I had stumbled upon something far more sinister than I could have imagined. I fled from the tunnels, my heart pounding, determined to expose the Elders and their malevolent rituals. With Samuel's diary as my guide, I uncovered the identities of the Elders and the depths of their involvement in the supernatural. Confronting the Elders was a perilous task, but I had to put an end to their dark practices. With evidence in hand, I exposed their secrets to the authorities and the community. As the Elders faced the consequences of their actions, the haunting incidents at Hollowbrook High began to subside. Samuel's spirit, it seemed, had finally found peace, and the school returned to a semblance of normalcy. But for me, the experience was a chilling reminder that some secrets are buried deep, and uncovering them can lead to a confrontation with forces beyond our understanding. Samuel's diary now rests in a place of honor, a testament to the courage it took to confront the ghostly secrets of Hollowbrook High.